Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Nanyacim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification so you get notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all, and I want to say a very big thank you to everyone who for always coming back to watch my videos and subscribing. You all are the real MVPs. Oh yo, we are 5,000 and counting. Thank you all so much. I am really grateful. So today we'll be talking about something that popped on my feed, and it says untold story about American white supremacists. This is actually this man. Okay, this is this man telling story about how Americans got so rich through slavery, right? You may know this, you may not have heard this, but see, I don't know, but I am just gonna roll the clip so you all can see and hear for yourselves, and then let's get into it.
I'm telling you folks, right there, how white folks got so rich. The untold story of American white supremacy. I mean, I just read about the Indian land grab, and I'm like, my gosh, man, good Lord. No wonder we don't want to teach the truth. No wonder we don't want to teach the truth. Because that means we've got to look people in the face and say our forefathers were the worst people in the history of mankind. The things that they did, that manifest destiny, that kind of mentality has been atrocious. What we have done to the African Americans. The estimated number of wealth that came from slavery, from free labor, and that's what it was. And they estimate that the amount of money that came from slavery was around $24 trillion. You can't even grasp that much money. The average person has a hard time grasping what $1 billion is. $1 trillion. Holy shit. And a lot of people don't want to admit the truth, because a lot of people also are scared that what happens if we actually do have to maybe pay reparations. Understand that everything, that beautiful Capitol in Washington, D.C. was built by slave labor. The majority of the churches in this country were built by slave labor. Our forefathers were lazy. And if they were smart, which they were, but the problem was they were cunning and sad. And I'm telling you folks, right there, how white folks got so rich. The untold story of American white supremacy.
So, you know, a lot of people, I remember, like, I blocked so many people because they were trying to dispute what I said maybe earlier some time ago. And this is not even a black person telling the story. This is also your people telling the story. And now let's start from the truth is that, okay, that reminds me, before I go into what I wanted to say, they said black Americans were lazy, right? But now you all can hear this truth is coming out, that they built almost everything, right? I am a black woman. I am African. I know that black people are never lazy. They are workaholic. Anything that it takes to make money, as long as it's legit, they are going to do it. So somebody cannot tell me that a black person or a black people, black Americans are lazy. It is in our genetics. We are not lazy. We work so hard. This is our identity, and nobody's gonna take it away from us. All right. So you all heard how much he mentioned that this is actually may not be the real amount, because anything that gets into the book never, like, some are never true. So if it is more than, like he said, 24 trillion, right? But I feel it's more than that. So yeah, you see why they are running away from CRT. But anytime they get chance to use CR to defend their evil deeds, they look for a way to use CR to defend some certain things, and then they are running away from teaching it. And they keep telling you, stop talking about slavery. It happened way, way back ago. Has slavery stopped? It has not. It's evolved, right? And they keep saying, do not talk about it. And when you do not talk about it, it is going to go away. How is it going to go away? How exactly is this going to go away if we do not talk about it? Anyways, let's continue and see what people still got to say about slavery. So here we go.
More. All right. I want to ask a question, right? We all kings and queens, right? We all from back, right? Mm-hmm. How comes every race is ahead of us right now? Like in infrastructure and wealth, and
because you were deliberately held back. Colonization is still relevant today because it pigeonholed you and allowed every other group to get a head start over you. Slavery is still relevant today because it pigeonholed you and allowed every other group to get a head start. This is why when you talk about issues of inequality, disproportionality, racism, and bias, the U.S. government, the white power structure, never wants to bring up slavery. This is why they want slavery cut. Stop talking about slavery. You know why? Because if you really want to talk about the source of black-white inequality, you have to go to slavery. You want to talk about the source of police killings in the black community, you got to go back to the slave patrols, which were the original police, keeping Negroes on the plantation and making sure they didn't run away from it. That's the original police force. Every problem we have in America, every problem we have in the Caribbean, every problem we have in Africa, Central and South America, Canada, the UK, throughout Europe and Australia, originated in slavery and colonization. But the white man doesn't like to go beyond 50 years. If you notice, his conversations are always about what's happening now. He never ties it to history. Because if you tie your problems to history, he's the cause of all your problems. So they'll talk about brothers selling drugs. They'll talk about black men killing each other. But what about the fact that the Irish used to kill each other? The Jews used to kill each other. You understand me? The Italians used to kill each other until the white man did what? He gave the Jews the civil service government jobs in the city centers. He gave the Italians the fire departments in the city centers, black community, and he gave the Irish the police department. He gave them an economic stimulus package to come into our neighborhood and kick our ass and let our homes burn down and take all the government jobs. And that's how the Jews, the Irish, and the Italians was able to stop gang banging and live a decent middle-class white life. All we did was step into the underworld that the Jews, Irish, and Italians left us. And this is why people have to know their political history, because these white folks act like you caused them problems. Even with ghettos, the Federal Housing Authority created the ghettos. They created the damn ghettos. They gave white people loans to move out into the suburb. Poor white people were able to escape to the suburbs on an FHA loan. When you tried to get one, you wanted to go to the suburbs too. They told you, no, you ain't got the credit. You ain't qualified. So then you said, well, let me buy a piece of Miami. I want to buy a piece of Miami. I want to buy this abandoned home on my block. And do you know what they say? Unfortunately, we can't finance dilapidated property. So you're not going to help me get a home in the suburb And you ain't gonna let me own nothing in the ghetto. And this is how they protected the ghetto for gentrification. That's why when you look around America, black people are being pushed out their own neighborhood very easy. Because when white flight came to the inner cities, white people left, but they never absolved their control of the real estate.
Yeah.
Most black people are squatters and renters, not owners. And the government deliberately kept it that way. So in the year 2000, when former President George W. Bush decided that this would be the century of gentrification, we couldn't even fight back against it because we didn't own anything.
How many subscriptions are...
I don't know if somebody is... One thing I just keep saying is that they know what they are doing. They know what they are doing. And you know what? Let's get into the last one.
Yeah, of course not. Just don't talk about it. It'll go away. It won't exist if you don't talk about it, right? Don't talk about that growth on your colon. It'll just go away. If you don't talk about it, it doesn't exist, right? Don't worry about your daughter getting knocked out. If you don't talk about it, she's not going to be pregnant anymore. Right? Those bills that come in every month, don't even talk about them. They're going to go away. They don't exist if you don't talk about them, right? Not talking about it is what has let it get ingrained in our system. I grew up in an era in which we didn't see the shit that we see now because it wasn't talked about, not because it didn't exist. It's existed for centuries. But because it didn't affect us and it wasn't discussed, we held that kind of a thought process. Well, it must not exist. It must not be happening. Not talking about something doesn't fix the problem. Not talking about something doesn't change the way people... Not talking about it doesn't mean that little old ladies aren't clutching their purses tighter and crossing the street when a person of color is coming at them as opposed to a white man coming at them. Not talking about it doesn't mean we have all of a sudden equity in lending from financial institutions instead of them favoring one skin color over the others historically throughout this country. Yeah, just don't talk about it. It'll go away. That's what Martin Luther King should have done, right? Just not talk about it, and eventually black people would have gotten their equal rights, right? God damn, man. How the fuck can you carry that mentality through life? Just don't talk about it. Take that mentality and apply it to any other aspect of your life. Does it work? If you just don't talk about something, it's not going to go away? Or it's not going to exist, it's just going to go away? Good luck with that, man.
So, you all heard it. I mean, I have talked on some things like this for like, there are some things like, you know, you listen to and you hear it and you're like, now I see why, because it did not affect them. So for that reason, do not talk about it so it can go away. I mean, education is elevation. I ain't going to lie to you about this. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. This is where I am going to draw the curtain. Thank you so much for all your support. And you know what? See you all in my next video. Bye for now.